Sky Blue Fans TV. For the fans, by the fans.
Good evening and welcome to the latest edition of Sky Blue Fans TV. And of course, we've had another win. Well, we're on a roll, aren't we? The good days are coming. We've got a great game to look forward to on Wednesday. But tonight, after we've secured our first away win of the season, back-to-back league wins, does it signal a positive momentum? And also, how strong was the actual performance as well? And which were the standout players? And we can surely look forward to a win on Wednesday. We've got a Wednesday guest. We've got a Derby guest coming on in about 15 minutes. But tonight I have Ken, who's on location somewhere.
Well, yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, and he's on a firework display, but he couldn't get back because he's been blocked in, so he can't get into his car to get home, which is brilliant, isn't it? We've got Jack, of course, from the Leamington and Warwick Supporters Club. He was there at, I nearly said Ayrton Park. Of course, it's not that. What's it?
Not that one. Not that
what's
one.
it called now?
Riverside, just the Riverside
That's
State.
it. The Riverside, still the Riverside. And all the way from Canada, the one and only Keith. How you doing, Keith?
Okay.
Folks, I am wonderful.
Right, we're going to get straight to this then. Let's look at it. I'll just mute Ken because of the background noise for a minute. So start with you, Jack. Starting lineup, there were some changes, but not altogether a surprise, was it? What did you make of it?
Yeah, I mean, Rodoni starting on the left was one of the obvious choices to make. Torp starting in the 10 was the other one. We discussed Thursday. It's the team that finished the game last Saturday, so it just made sense for momentum. We didn't see Sims picking up an injury late on, hence why we had two goalies on the bench. But I'm quite happy with Asante playing. He throws himself around. Obviously got the second booking from Hackney. So I can't see Sims's movement of drawn that foul personally. But I don't know, two strikers with pace doesn't really complement each other as much as Sims maybe with his strength and his height and holding up the ball. But we didn't miss him, did we? We won. So happy days.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't altogether surprised at all. It was good to see Torp have a start. I think that was good, and I think he just had to go with it. It makes you wonder whether or not they sort of get a feel for the response to that team, and especially in the last game against Luton, from the fans basically, and whether or not I wouldn't say it makes the manager and the coaching staff decide they're going to pick a team and what the fans want, but I think they must have realised just how good a performance that was by us against Luton to keep with the same starting lineup.
Do you know what, though? With them, I agree. Yeah, absolutely. It's rewarding the players that perform so well. But we had a brilliant performance for 80 minutes against Spurs, and he started the same 10 the weekend. We had another midweek game, and he started almost the same team at the weekend. And both of those weekend games where we started the same team resulted in a loss. So it could have been the fact that we started the same team, could that have backfired on us? But at least it was two weekends, not a midweek and a weekend. But rewarding the players for their good performances last week, it paid off again, didn't it?
So I'm going to bring Ken in now with hopefully the fireworks are over. Are they still doing the fireworks?
They're still going on behind me, unfortunately, so you might hear a bit of background noise, but unfortunately I got blocked in and I couldn't quite make it back to the studio. So I've had to find a quiet location to come and join the show.
It sounds like you're in the toilet. Carry on.
I know, but it's not. I'm in a big room and I'm on my own. I'm in this big room. It's the best I could find, unfortunately.
So what did you make to the starting lineup? Were you happy with it?
Yeah, I was obviously surprised about Sims. We didn't know about that. That was a bit of a last minute thing, wasn't it, with his foot? So that can't be out. But overall, I thought it worked well. I thought we were in control, to be honest, and the team looked really solid. I was very impressed actually with Vidoni. I thought Vidoni, he had to start. I think, as we said in the last show, try and start the players that finished the last game. So for me, Vidoni had to start really because he was outstanding, wasn't he? He changed the game against Luton. So yeah, I was more than happy with the lineup, mate. More than happy.
So we'll go to you then, Keith. What time was it when you were watching the game in Canada?
Well, the game was yesterday, so we were 8 hours behind you. So it was like 9 o'clock in the morning my time.
Oh,
Which
not
was
too
nice.
bad.
No, it was really nice. But I mean, I had got up early to watch another game. But yeah, the starting lineup I was happy with. It's almost like they're starting to blend together now. And I'm thinking of Jack's point there about the two forwards. It got me thinking back to the Haitley and Thompson days, like two big guys that you would have thought didn't really seem to play well together, but did, you know. I thought the lineup was great. Happy to see Rodoni and Torp in the team. I mean, I've been impressed with Rodoni. Torp is, maybe he needs more game time with us. But we're getting there. We're getting there.
So, Jack, the first 15 minutes then, I thought we made a really bright start and, we were generally on top and we had a couple of chances as well. So what did you make of that first 15?
Yeah, absolutely. We bossed it. It was, again, a bit like QPR. We just had a go at them. We weren't scared. We're away from home, where we haven't won yet this season. And we just took the game to them. Obviously, the Riverside's a happy hunting ground in recent times. Obviously, 2 disallowed goals as well in the first 15, 20 minutes. So that just shows the intent. They were both correctly given offside from what I've seen at the far end from where I was sat. So wasn't too happy in the moment, but it is what it is. And who can complain when you get 2 goals disallowed in the first 20 minutes? You're on the front foot and you're doing the right thing, aren't you?
Yeah. I don't know what you think, Ken. I thought the first one. I think that was borderline because the linesman wasn't really in line. So
No, it wasn't. No,
I think if that went to VAR, we could have had that. I think it was
very borderline, wasn't it? And I suppose that's the problem when we haven't got VAR in the Championship and it goes against you. Sometimes somebody goes for you. But I personally prefer it as it is. You know, sometimes you're going to get decisions that are going to go for you, and sometimes you're going to get them against. But I prefer it as it is with no VAR. We don't want to mess the Championship up by bringing VAR in. That just causes we've gone through all that, haven't we, with the FA Cup and all that drama and heartache, if you like. But
I'll tell you what I have noticed, Ken, is that when we played Luton and on Saturday, there's a bit of more invention with the set pieces, the corners and the free kicks.
God, yeah.
And the one that was just...
You notice different players are taking the corners, aren't they?
Yeah, and
it's thought sometimes, and sometimes they don't.
They've done some little step overs, little drag backs, little 1-2s around the box. Oh, I think it's great. So maybe the mass array of coaching staff are actually the set piece people.
I was about to say they must be making all their money now. Yeah. Yeah.
So what did you think, Keith? Did you like our new little free kick routines?
I thought they were great. I mean, it's so nice to see something inventive and different. I mean, going back to the donkey kick, I mean, it's things that people don't expect. I loved it. I mean, that corner for the disallowed goal, which, I mean, was it, wasn't it? You've got to go with the rule at the time, but they're brilliant. Love it.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I was surprised, and it's just a shame it was disallowed. But in some ways, who flicked it into Haji Wright for the...
nodded it on.
I actually thought if it had took that down and just hit it, he'd have scored there. He wasn't offside, was he? It was the ball into... It was Haji Wright, wasn't it? So yeah. Oh, we've got Peyton in the background from Derby. Now he's come on early tonight because he's got to do his own show in about half an hour. So I'm going to bring him in straight in. Actually, guys, we'll get him in. All right. Evening, Peyton. How you doing?
I'm good, mate. Thank you. Thanks for letting me come on.
Yeah, it's a pleasure that you're here. And I suppose the first question is, I mean, I got you down for relegation, actually. So I have to say that. But how's it going so far, the season, for you?
I think we're doing quite well. I think we're a bit higher up the table than everyone thought we'd be at this point, and we thought we'd be more around where Portsmouth are. And we're surprisingly been very good and got some good results against some good teams. You know, we've beat Middlesbrough, we beat Bristol City convincingly. We probably should have got a point against Norwich. And there's been other games, Watford away, probably could have got a result. Then there's been other games that have been not so good, Oxford, we were the better side convincingly in the second half and probably should have got a win, didn't.
So how are you going to manage expectations this season then? Because obviously, if you think you're going off to a good start, are you hoping you're going to stay around the mid-table or push for a bit more?
I mean, I think at the start of the season, every single Derby fan would have said, as long as we don't finish in the bottom three, we're happy. And I think it stays that way. Anything more than 21st is a bonus. Like, we've come back from 2 years basically building a squad from nothing and have a competitive side which we'd never thought we'd have, and we're a lot better than we thought we were. So anything, just take mid-table, get like 13th, 14th.
I imagine. I mean, looking at you, you don't look very old, Peyton. So I imagine you've just had a bit of a torturous few seasons following Derby. It's not been great, has it?
It's not been as bad as you'd think. It's just like obviously the administration season, and then like the fact that it was going into the summer and it was like 4 weeks before the season started, and we were like, well, if we don't have anything in a week, we don't have a football club. It's like, so it was worrying. But
so what was it like under Wayne Rooney?
I mean, I don't think Rooney was as big a part of the managing staff as it seemed he was, because Liam Rosenior, who now is at Strasbourg in France, he was our assistant manager, and he was the one doing the teams, and Rooney was the spearhead to it, and he was the figurehead, and he brought in obviously a lot of the players we got in just with his links, and he put a lot of his own money into the club as well to keep it going, and he did a lot of good for Derby, and I don't think he was ever a bad manager for us, but the sponsorship that I think was paying him ended, and it was two parties going separate ways, and he ended up getting his job in America, which he then kind of went downhill from, and obviously Birmingham and now Plymouth, where he's not been amazing. It's kind of shown how, whereas Rosenior, who was in the background at Derby, had a few games at the start of our first season back as an interim manager. He then went on to Hull and is now managing in France. I think he's got Strasbourg like 5th, which is crazy.
Yeah, I'm surprised nobody went for Rosenior in this country, actually, after... I was very surprised at that. So with Paul Warne then, are you quite happy with him? Because him and Mark Robins used to play up front together back in their playing days. And I must admit, we don't do particularly well playing away against Paul Warne's teams, but we normally do quite well at home. So what do you think of him at the minute then?
I mean, a lot of the fan base have been very divided on him, and maybe at the middle of last season he should have gone, but he made it up. We were on a 21 game unbeaten streak at one point, and he was getting results. The football wasn't amazing to watch, but this season it seemed quite different. It seemed we came into the season trying to play some pretty good to watch football, which is something we'd never have thought had happened. And then it's kind of shown at home how good we can be. And then away from home, it's been very strange because we've been in the games, but we can't seem to win them or get results. We've got a point against Millwall, which was thanks to a very scrappy goal at the back post. And then we had a dreadful error at the back, which I think just unfortunate, and they went through on goal and scored. And then Oxford, where we were horrible in the first half, were deservedly 1-0 down, came back in the second half and were miles the better team. I probably should have scored 3 goals. It just didn't. And it's like frustrating because
That's interesting.
Probably could have had 3 or 4, maybe 5 or 6 more points in the last 5 weeks from away matches that we just haven't got.
Well, that's interesting. I looked at your away. I mean, our home form hasn't been particularly good at all. I think we lost. Is it 4 already? We've lost, I think, at home. I mean, you obviously haven't won away yet, so it does. I mean, and we're only 1 goal better off than you at the minute in the league. So I'm kind of like a bit worried about Wednesday because I feel we should go on and win after our results in the last couple of games. But it's the Championship, and most games are up in the air, and it depends who gets a grip on the game before anybody else. I can sort of decide how the game goes, basically. So looking, I mean, it's James Collins. Well, I mean, he's a Coventry lad. Is he in and around the squad at the minute?
He's been more on the bench. He got a few minutes against Stoke on the weekend, but he's been more of a fringe player this season because we've had obviously brought Jerry Yates in on loan from Swansea, who's been quite good for us. And now Dejuan Brown, who's a youth player, has been given more of an opportunity. He got an equaliser against Hull a couple of weeks ago, scored his first senior goal. So he's been getting more opportunities. So he's not really seen much of the team, Collins hasn't.
So if, who do we need to look out for then? Who do your standout players so far this season?
I mean, defensively, Jakub Sesselstrom, the goalkeeper, can't miss him. He looks like Petr Cech, except when he takes his hat on, he's probably the nicest looking man you'll ever see. And then in defence, definitely Cashin and Nelson, both of them have been incredible. Probably the reason we're as high up the table as we are. We've been very quality defensively, which is good to see. Ebou Adams sits just in front of them. He's incredible. And it's been probably got 3 or 4, maybe 5 of the points that we've got this season has become because of him. And then going forward, there's not really been much. Mendes Lang, he was in the team of the year in League One last year. Hasn't really been there. He scored 1 goal. I think he's got 1 or 2 assists. Jerry Yates hasn't scored that many. Corey Blackett-Taylor, who's looked promising in times, hasn't really got the opportunity. Caden Jackson hasn't got that finishing touch that maybe we could have wanted. So it's more of the midfield and the defence that are the shining lights. I mean, we signed Kenzo Halbmine as well from AZ Alkmaar, and he's been more of a luxury player, but when he's on it, he's a quality championship player. But
have you noticed any? I mean, from a couple of years ago, then, from when you were last in the championship, have you noticed any difference? Do you think it's stronger, weaker? What have you noticed at all?
To be fair, I've been surprised at how well we've kind of managed to integrate ourselves into the championship, because I think all of us thought when we went up it would be a lot harder and we would be a lot less competitive. I mean, the first game it kind of seemed, Blackburn, they weren't very good last season. We could maybe get something against it. And then we got battered. And it was like, well, okay, so the championship's going to be really hard. And then we go into Middlesbrough the week after and we beat them, you know.
Yeah, that's a good win. I mean, obviously we beat them at the weekend, but they've got a strong squad, Middlesbrough. I'm going to bring Ken in and see if he might want to ask you something. Ken, would you like to ask?
I was about to ask you, apologies for the noise in the background here, because it's a bit noisy where I am, but I was going to ask you obviously about your manager and also about Waghorn. You had Waghorn, who was with us season before. How was he for you, and what's happened to him now, Waghorn?
So we had Waghorn before. Obviously, we signed from Ipswich. He was quite an expensive player, and then he was solid for us, and then kind of seemed to drop off a little bit. He kept us up on the final day in Rooney's first season, and then I think he left to join you. And then he came out as a free agent last season, obviously after leaving you guys, and it was kind of like he came for a testimonial game for Craig Forsyth, who's been at the club longer than anyone and probably everyone. Some people have been in the ground, you know, crazy. Yeah. And he excelled. He was really good. He looked miles better than we thought he would, and we signed him. Start of the season was incredible. Scored a hat-trick against Peterborough, single-handedly won us the game. Had something like the best minutes per goal ratio in the league by a country mile, was incredible. And then he seemed to fall off. I think he got an injury.
I've had to mute Ken because I think the fireworks have gone off in the background. I think people thought they were shooting at him. I've hired a hitman. I'll just bring Jack in. I'm sure Jack would like to ask you something. Jack, would you like to ask Peyton anything?
Do you know what? I've just kind of been racking my brain if I can think of anything. The whole Rooney season's interesting, and you mentioned about Rosenior. it sort of seemed that way. I've read that somewhere. I don't remember where, but I'd read that it was actually Rossini masterminding sort of your season that year, and he's gone on to do great things. Rooney hasn't, so that kind of proves the point. I don't know. How did you get on against Stoke? How did that go? I know you've lost, but at the weekend. But how were you playing well, or were they better than you?
I mean, it was a frustrating game. We weren't amazing. So we had a good start. I think the first 5-10 minutes we were the better side, and then they had a couple passes that kind of seemed to breach our defence, and it was looking a bit worrying. And then a goalkeeper error led to their penalty, which put them 1-0 up. And from there, we couldn't really get the foothold in the game up until the half time, which was unfortunate. But it seemed there was promising signs. And then half time came, we made some changes. They didn't really help, but it seemed like we'd been a little bit better. And obviously our equaliser wasn't exactly a wonder goal, but you take what you can get. And we're still pushing for the win, but it was more end to end, a bit more balanced. And then they got a corner which was defended well, but their fullback pushed our Nat Phillips off of the ball before he could get it onto it, which just led to them having an open goal pretty much, which was unfortunate. Referee didn't see it, but then I think he also didn't see a red card challenge for the same player. So against us. So we got away with a red card and they got away with getting a winner, which probably by the end of the game was about the right scoreline.
So with the game on Wednesday then, and obviously 3 games in a week, we're hoping we don't have many changes because we're quite happy with our starting lineup at the moment. So what do you expect from your guys? Do you think there'll be a bit of a swap around?
Yeah, I think there will be. So I feel like we might end up going to a 3 at the back because it seemed like that was a bit more promising. And due to the fact that we basically have no right backs fit. So Ryan Nyambi, who is really good at the start of the season for us, he has an injury that's kept him out until I think February, March time. And Kane Wilson, who's been his replacement and been quite solid for us, he's got an injury recently, which means that he's not fit either. So we're using Joe Ward, who's not really a right back and can't really defend.
All right,
so
that could come in handy.
Rodoni on the left, that sounds all right to me.
So looking ahead then, so what do you think on Wednesday? We'll go to the scores. I can let you go, and because I know you got to prepare for your test. So looking ahead, what's your prediction for Wednesday?
I feel like you guys are on form and we're not, which doesn't bode well for us. But I think we're going to go into the game, try and maybe nick a 1-0. I feel like if it goes that way, it'll be a 1-0, but I feel like you guys you've got so much attacking talent, Haji Wright, Van Uwijk. I mean, so many quality players that definitely shouldn't be in the Championship, should be way higher. But I think you guys are probably going to get 2. So I think I'll go with 2-2, hopefully. But I feel like you guys will get the win.
I'll just go to Ken. Hopefully they've stopped shooting at him.
No, they're still fired. The shots are still being fired, mate.
What's your prediction for Wednesday quickly before this?
I'll quickly give you, I think we're going to win 2-0, mate. I think we're going to continue with our good form. I'm going 2-0 before I get shot.
I'll just go to Keith. Keith, what do you reckon on Wednesday?
I like Ken's idea. Yeah, 2-0, 2-1. If we play on our day, yes, we can win.
Right, so what's your score then?
I'll stick with Ken's 2-0. I like that.
Jack, what do you reckon?
I'll go 2-1 win to us. I can see us keeping up some good form, but I can see us conceding.
I'll tell you what. I do think it's going to be a draw. There you go. I think the expectations are high. We've been here before, and it's not the end of the world if we do draw, but I can see it being a draw. So I'm going for a 1-1. And I think it's going to be one of those frustrating evenings where Paul Warren does a number on Mark Robins. So I'm going to let you go, Peyton. Thank you for coming on. And so we'll comment from one of our... this is the commentator, JH says, no offence, Peyton, but that's a terrible kit.
Yeah, it's probably the worst of the three. But... I mean, this is a special edition of there's only like 140 of them. It has a special thing on the back, so I waited in line for 3 hours to get it. So I've got to make good use of it.
We've had plenty of those kits in the last 6 years. Yeah. Well, brilliant. Thanks for coming on, mate, and all the best for the season. But of course, I hope Wednesday's terrible. Basically.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming on. Thank you.
Best wishes, sunshine.
Well, there we go. Ken, are they still firing? Give me a thumbs up if they've stopped firing. I muted it. Still going on?
Yeah.
It is. Right, okay. Well, let's get back to our game on... Well, I'll tell you what. I'm going to mute you and I'm going to read some comments out. This is funny, right? Oh, we've got loads here. All right, here we go. Right, so... George Osters, don't know why so many were flapping after 10 games. Have some faith in Robins. Dave Granigan, even everyone. Great result again yesterday. Hopefully it'll be us now getting our season going. And Mark Patman, even all, what a great performance. I think we will do the Northeast double with a good win. This is from Wayne. He's going to touch of reality probably here. How strong was the performance? First half was very good. We looked solid. Second half, we were getting pulled apart by 10 men. And the second goal was a relief as we were not in it. Great 3 goals and top finishes, especially Eccles, very calm. This is from Gibbo. Even everyone, now that's what we expected before the season started. Great result. Let's keep the run going against Derby on Wednesday. And Wayne says, it was great to see us press attack with intent, actually want it in the first half. Dave Boland says, even all, clean sheet, 3 points away from home, perfect. However, I was struggling to remember who had 10 men for the first 25 minutes of the second half. Graham Cockrell, hi to all. I keep hearing that when the clocks go back, CCFC go up. I never heard that before the weekend, but I like it big time. Graham also says 6 balls in the net, 3 disallowed, but it showed we were on the front foot, and that was a second yellow. I've seen the replay several times. Ian Courts, great performance, proud of the lad. See the dark arts of pretending your goalkeeper's injured, raise its ugly head again. Something needs to be done about that. We'll talk about that in a bit, actually. Christopher Rafael, we've found a way to win with goals back, middle and front, with midfielders scoring in consecutive games. We're back stroll on Wednesday. Wins, and lots of them can't come fast enough. I'll get this one up. Dave Sports Photos. Sunderland away, cue the free hit comments. What is that? Does it mean they're so good that we don't mind if we lose? I don't get the concept of the free hit. Doug Boland agrees when he said we looked inventive from set pieces. If Man City or Arsenal had scored a set piece like we did, it would be hailed as genius. It was a great move and more like it. Even if they fail, who cares? Great to see. It's so much better than just having a blast at the wall, isn't it, really? Yeah, because not many free kicks, if they're direct, go in. Covandy, there was a comment on CWR that if the keeper gets injured, all players go into the centre circle to stop the tactical injury. That seems like a good idea. Dave Granigan, it's about time that we put some work into our set plays. It's very pleasing.
I think just on those set plays, Middlesbrough could have done a decade of homework against us and not seen a single set play like that.
Yeah.
It surprised everyone. I mean, everyone, us, the fans. It surprised our own players because Haji was stood offside. So,
after Ken, when you want to speak, give me a thumbs up.
He wants in.
Come in. That's we've gone quiet. I'll say that. I'll say that. But anyway, I quite agree. I think what I will say, that referee on Saturday, and I suppose a lot of people did recognise it. As soon as they had that player sent off, he was looking to even that up, wasn't he? I mean,
Yeah.
There was a flurry of bookings, wasn't there? Straight after that to our players, and every time the tackle was not even a foul, and the player went down, and they were they were in the referee's face, trying to get him sent off. It's a bit naughty. I mean, they were a bit naughty doing that, but I'm glad Vidoni came off in the end, but he did delay it a little bit, so I was surprised that I thought he'd bring him straight off. But Vidoni was the one that was on a little bit of a knife edge, weren't he, with his tackle?
Well, I'll just, sorry, I have to keep muting Ken, sorry about that. What I did find, I'll talk to the two lads quickly about this, is that when he was sent off, I was grumbling a bit about Josh Eccles because he was in 2 or 3 times, he was in a great position to play a ball through, and the passes weren't happening for him. And then out of nothing, he slings in a fantastic cross, doesn't he? When we recycled, I think it was from a corner, and Bobby Thomas rising like a salmon, as they say, and actually hit the target. I mean, he had 2 or 3 attempts in other matches where he's got nowhere near the ball, has he? But that was a fantastic goal, Jack. I mean, I don't know, you were down the other end of the pitch, weren't you?
But, yeah, I mean, you could see him just rise, and it was one of them. Similar sort of happened at Preston when he got his head on the ball and the goalkeeper made a wonderful save. It was similar again. When he jumped, you just thought, this is in. You could just see he was a foot higher than anyone else near, and I think players either side of him were both COV players in front and behind. So even if he missed it, there was the chance with the player behind him. But yeah, to just see him rise out of this pack of players from the far end, I just thought this has to hit the back of the net. It really, and obviously it did. So yeah, wonderful. But like you say, the cross from Eccles, he got the ball back from Torp. He set himself up with his strides and just whipped it in first time. Sometimes we always say, get the ball in the box, and people don't do it. They take a touch and they try and roll it away from their feet, or they turn onto another foot. Eccles, in the moment, just saw, there's a ball coming to me, there's people in the box, and he got it in perfectly. Couldn't ask for a better goal.
The only thing I thought about when the ball went in, I was just thinking there's so many of our players, I can just see one of our own players knocking the other one out of the way, because they've done that before when they've not called for it and it's gone, I think, oh no. But that was, it was a great goal, wasn't it, Keith?
Yeah, I mean, I thought all the goals were great. There was no luck about any of them. I mean, like I say, the crosses were perfect. The final touch to get it in the net was just phenomenal. Great all-round team performance. I was really happy.
But did you like the first goal?
Oh, hell yes. Very much so, very much so.
So did you think, I mean, it was a strange game in some respects, because although we scored, we were 1-up, we never really had real control of it, I didn't think. And I don't know whether or not because they got fired up with the sending off, definitely. And I don't think in our midfield we reacted at all for about half an hour. And they had a lot of play, and they were their tactic, because we were playing quite high up actually, their tactic for a lot of the game was to knock it long down the wings. That's what they're trying to do. And we almost got caught out 2 or 3 times. So, I mean, what was it like watching it? Because you were there, Jack. How did you feel for those 30 minutes, 15 minutes either side, the first and second half?
Well, the first, until the red card, I thought we were the better team, simple as. They had 1 chance, we had 2 disallowed goals, and we were knocking on the door. We were the better team. Like you said, the red card completely fired them up. I don't really remember what system they're playing before that red card, but to bring Johnny Howson on straight away after that red card, revert to a back 3, I think it was, with him just sort of pulling the strings in front of that back 3. It was the experienced sort of head that we all say we need in our midfield. We need like a Johnny Howson to sit in front of our defence and run the show. Because Sheaf, we all love Sheaf, but he's not performing 100% at the moment. And Howson coming on when they change the system, like you say, with their being fired up, they controlled it. And I honestly thought if we can go in at half-time 0-0, we can make some tactical changes to combat them. Maybe we can get on the front foot in the second half, because we were out the game almost, I think, personally. And then obviously when we got the goal, it was relief going at 1-0 up and then assess again.
Yeah, I must admit, I thought we deserved to take the lead, regardless of sending off. But there were a couple of fouls that we did, and I actually thought, "Hey, up, we're giving the ref an opportunity here." So, how did you see that half an hour, Keith? Did you think we were a bit? We sort of stepped back a bit?
Oh, very much so. We seem to be on the back foot. We really seem to be on the back foot. I mean, we'd done great to kick off with, and it looked like there was only going to be one winner. And then all of a sudden, I don't know, the result of the sending off, like Jack said, they changed their tactics, and it was almost like we were playing with 10 men, you know. But thankfully, we held on, you know, and got the goal, went in at half time, you know, and I think it was perfect. I mean, but even then, after the second half started again, we were still struggling, and it was almost a throwback to the 70s. I thought we were gonna struggle and hang on. It was going to finish 1-0, and then all of a sudden, like, pop this second goal, almost out of the blue. It felt to me, sort of thing. And now you can relax a little bit, you know. And then when the third goal came in, it was just like that. End of the world. Yeah. Thank you. We'll take that.
I think because where we've been this season, it's almost like you can see the lack of confidence to go on and just win it.
Yeah.
Properly win it and kill it off. But there again, they're a decent side. They can pass the ball around as well. And we've proved it. We've beaten teams with 10 players. It can happen. So, you know, it's if you've got the home crowd behind them, which I think is disappointing. There's a lot of empty seats there at the Riverside. I've got some more comments here. Assassins Unite says, hi guys, I woke up this morning feeling fine. I've got Doug King on my mind. Great to hear this song for all the players, manager and chairman. Mad Frankie says, straight off the training ground via the iPad. Peter Dolan, good evening all, and everyone is smiling what are results. I think Ken's disappeared now. This is from Ulderico, who's in Italy. He says, good evening from Italy. That's good, man. I've got the flag up behind me this time as well. Look, there it is. Danny says, every win we've had, we've won 3-0. We'll score 3. We should be scoring for fun every week. It's interesting because I was on CWR. I don't know if anybody, and we're talking about the predictions. And it says, you can't expect to score 3 goals every game. That's 2 in a row. So there you go. Alderico says, good evening, particularly to Claudio Cardellino and Keith Ray. Good evening, Alderico, who was over for the Luton match, I believe. He's our lucky charm because he doesn't see us lose very often. And mind you, Keith's coming over in November, end of November, aren't you? So you've done all right, haven't you, with your visits?
Yeah, so far I've had, I think, well, Wembley aside, 2 wins and a draw.
Yeah, it's not too bad, is it?
Yeah.
Well, that's not too bad at all. Finn, hi guys, we're looking sharp and dangerous, carving it up down the wing. Great balls in. Eccles' goal was class. Run of wins coming our way. Yes. Of course, we did ask about Neil Pullen. Do you miss Waghorn? He was saying to Peyton, he was our best player and top scorer when City had him. Right. So let's talk about the goalie then, shall we? So Assassins Unite brings up Dovan, still gives me nightmares. Jack, there was that incident, wasn't there? Where he could have picked out any player in black and he picked one in white.
Yeah, ironically, it was from our goal kick. I think Binksy took the goal kick, passed him the ball. He stood still and we're thinking, you're going to pick a player? And then he sort of rocked it forward and thought, you're going to pick a pass at all? And then he just picks out their striker or midfielder, whatever. We're just thinking there was 4 or 5 options. He could have even kicked it long for Haji Wright to run onto. What was the need? He was under no pressure. I don't know. I don't get it. I'll be honest. The rest of the game, I think he was quite solid. His passing seemed to be okay. It was just one moment of madness. But when a goalie makes a mistake like that, it usually results in a goal. So we can't afford that. I think he's lucky he's not got Wilson knocking on the door for starting games again. Otherwise, he could be back in. Wilson could be back in the team. But the fact that he's got a clean sheet now, hopefully he can take that. That's his first for City. So hopefully he can take that and build on that, keep the clean sheets coming. Then maybe Wilson doesn't get back in. So we'll see how things go.
So, Ken, are you comfortable with this playing at the back like that?
Yeah, I am. I mean, when you're talking about the goalkeeper, I do prefer Ben Wilson, if I'm honest, but he's not available at the moment, so we've got to play what we've got, and Davies the next one in line. So, you've got to give the lad a run of games. He does look a bit dodgy sometimes, but you've got to remember he's only a young lad and he's still learning, I suppose, still trying to find his feet. So I think he'll come good. So he is an international as well, plays Swedish international, so he can't be that bad, to be honest, can he? Sweden.
I'm just reading these comments. Yes. GLB boxing take Ken.
Oh, I think it's still gone quiet now, so I should be all right.
There's more. I love these comments. Finn has put, which HMP? I think he's in Pankhurst, is he? Where are you?
I've only got 5 more minutes. I've got to go.
And Doug Boylan says, "Get the white flag out, Ken."
I heard the helicopter coming in.
Yeah, helicopter coming to rescue Ken. Brilliant comment. Well, fair play to you to try and come on, because it's a nightmare. It's not your fault you're blocked in and you can't get out.
I just had to try and find. I just said to the lady, "Have you got a quiet room I can use?" And she said, "You can put me in here," which is only a quiet room, but obviously you can still hear the fireworks going off behind me, so can't get out of that, unfortunately. But it is a bit echoey. It does sound like I'm in the toilet, but I assure you I'm not. I'm in a big room here, quite a big room. But I'm on my own, so... In
fairness, it looks like you actually sat on the toilet, the view I've got.
It's not very comfortable, but yeah, it is what it is, I suppose. But yeah, I mean, I think we've got to, we've got to take the positives out of that performance. We've got to try and get a little run of games going now. We've got, I say, we were speaking about the record we had against Middlesbrough. We've got a great record against Middlesbrough, haven't we now? And we won again there on Saturday, so the confidence must be sky high now with the players, and there's no reason why now they can't go into Wednesday's game and win that game, get 3 points. Because you've got to really, haven't you? It'd be disappointing.
I'm looking at it with my Coventry pessimistic head on, because I always think surely you can't win 3 in a row, but hopefully we will. I'm just going to mute again. So Craig Robinson from the Sky Blues Forum. Hi guys, especially Keith. Top 4 by Christmas. What do you think? Well, we're going to discuss our what we think we can achieve if we get it going. Luke Spud, name a better player than Haji Wright in the division. 8 starts, 6 goals. Only Maja and Sands have scored more, but both have started more games and played a lot more minutes than Haji. Well, I'll tell you what. I've been going on about it for a while. Play him down the middle as a central striker. I know he can play out wide, and I know he scored a load of goals from out wide, but we have got players who can play out wide. We don't need him to play out there. We need 2 players down the middle, and I think that's where he should be, personally. Wayne Litwood, isn't it amazing when our striker plays in a striker's role and not on the left wing? If MR goes back to this formation, unless it's injury related, then it would be foolish. Dave Granigan says, Jack, it's never surprising that Wright is offside. That's one of his strengths.
We've had a few of them in our time, but he's the latest addition to that club, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, as a striker, though, if you can get away with it, you get a goal. It's as simple as that. You play off that last defender as much as you can. It gives you, especially in the Championship with no VAR. I mean, that goal Asante scored, that could easily be missed by the linesman. The ref's not going to give it. That's a goal. And we've had plenty of those against us in this division.
Yeah, Asante against us last year.
Yes, exactly. It was about 5 yards offside.
8 miles off. From the opposite end of the ground, he was offside.
Yeah. Was it that far off? It was in Tesco's car park. Paul Hughes. Even all, great win Saturday, though I thought one of our team had been sent off the way the game went after the sending off. 2-0 against Derby. Cavandi, I think the ref was sponsored by Moonpig in the first half.
Dishing out cards.
Very good, very good. Webby Sports Roundup says hello from Tenerife. Yes, thank you. Hello. Yes, definitely. Comical Boxer. Ken, I disagree with you on the ref looking to even it up. In my opinion, there was an opportunity for him to do so, but he didn't. Reasonable game for inexperience at this level. Oh, can I bring Ken in there? Would you like to respond?
Yes. Yeah, you can bring me in. Well, I just thought he was looking, not so much the referee as well, but the players were looking at every tackle, weren't they, to try and get one of our players sent off. And that's what the players were. They were in his face, hands up in the air, you know. But a perfectly good tackle, and they were looking for a yellow card. It's ridiculous, you know. I just thought it was great that they did the tactical injury, and then we go and score. I just thought it was brilliant, and the guy gets set. And I sort of flicked the screen. I thought, yeah, have it. You know, there's no doubt about that with the tactical. I mean, the keeper, there's nothing wrong with the keeper, was there? Nothing wrong with the keeper at all.
No. I've just got visions of Ken being presented with a big fat burger or something while he's. That's Ian Primlock. Thomas with the bullet header, fantastic performance, better than he's been lately at the back too. We've got Finn. Boro had to go for it, which meant we could hit them on the break. Great goal by Eccles. Wayne Littlewood. I was amazed by the forum of fans who thought we dominated for 90 minutes. Some got very upset if you didn't align with them. Good that all four of you tonight see that we did struggle in the second half. It wasn't just us, but I mean, got the commentary on, and they were saying it in the commentary. Oggy and Clive and Rob were all saying that for some reason we were sitting back and didn't look like we wanted to go forward, like we're sitting on that 1-0 lead. And we know for us that is a dangerous thing to do because we do concede goals. So to come away and win it 3-0 in the end was, well, I was absolutely gobsmacked because I must admit, I just thought we were going to sneak it 1-0 in the end. What about you there being there, Jack? Could you feel it with the fans that they weren't happy with sitting back or?
I mean, second half, there were periods of when they had the better of the ball, or if we weren't potentially stringing passes together, or if we were turning around, there were a few moans and groans. There was one bloke right near me that was complaining about Eccles the whole time. And then when he scored, I think he was celebrating more than anyone in the world. It was like, I don't get it. But yeah, there were sort of general little bits of moaning and groaning, but nothing horrendous. It wasn't like we turned on the players, but you could hear it around.
Yeah, I just think the trouble is when we get sent off, you just expect to go on and win the game, don't you? That's what you think.
Pressure was on us at that point, absolutely.
Yeah, and anything can happen. A penalty, a free kick around the box, anything can change the game. So it's not that easy in the Championship. But I think that's probably just a mindset by us, I think, as a team, where we just got to believe that we can turn teams over. And we can score goals. We've proved we can score goals. That list last week where we're the 4th or 5th highest in the whole 92 clubs for this calendar year, scoring goals. We can score goals. So you got Boro fan here, James Llewellyn. Well played yesterday, fully deserved stop and start season for us. No momentum, not sure where we will finish. I think Coventry will be around the playoffs by the end of the season. Well, we hope so.
Well, on that as well, Claudio, on the goal scoring, we've had 10 different goal scorers this season in the league. Right. So it proves we can get goals from everywhere. We're not reliant on just Sims and Wright, for example, this season. We've got goals everywhere.
I like that, personally. I think that's great. If you're reliant on one striker to score all the goals for you, the opposition know that's all they've got to block that person. If you've got goals coming from everywhere, they don't know where to look. And I think it's only good for us. It's a great move.
And in the second half, I mean, I felt that when we did make the substitutions, you're kind of quite happy with the substitutions. I didn't feel like we the team was weakened at all. I don't know what you think about that, Ken. I'll bring you in now. They stopped firing you.
Just about, mate. Yeah. I thought overall our performance was great, and basically I thought the way we played, we did look like when you're on about, we looked like we were sitting back. It did look like we were sitting back, but I think it was more that they had to go for it as well, didn't they? They had to push everybody forward. They made a load of subs, and they took risks. And I was quite confident the way they were taking risks, they were pushing us back. We were going to catch them on the break, and that's exactly what happened. Because we're a very good team on the break, as you know, and they had to go forward. They had an option, especially with 10 men. They were chasing the game. So I think it was more them pushing extra men forward and sort of pushing us back, if you like, rather than us sitting back. Because I was quite confident that we'd score another goal. I thought, we're going to get them on the break here, and we did. And we caught them on the break, classic breakaway. And what a finish, by the way, from Eccles. Nobody spoke about that. How cool was he there? How cool was he?
Well, even before that, I mean, Jack, you'd have had a perfect view from where you were. The second goal, I mean, it was just lovely. I love it when you see the ball fly in and players all diving in for it. And of course, the bar lads getting on the end of it. But that must have been a great feeling seeing it that end.
I think with when Sakamoto got the ball and turned onto his left foot, I was basically bang in line with the byline, so he was probably about 5 or 6 yards to my right. I just thought this ball needs to be perfect, and that's it. We've won. And then when he put the ball in, I thought, well, that's way too near the keeper. But the bend on it was perfect, just taking it away from the keeper. And then obviously Asante misses it, and you think, oh, that's chance blown. And obviously Haji stood there tapping it in the far post. It's like, again, we've got a queue of players lining up to score it. A bit like the header. We've got a queue of players waiting for the ball. And finally, a good delivery happens. Normally, if the ball's perfect, there's no strikers. Or when the ball, or sometimes you've got 3 or 4 players in the box and the ball's crap. And it just clicked today yesterday, with obviously the first goal, queue of players. Second goal, almost a queue of the strikers just ready to tap it in. And of course, I mean, we'll talk about man of the match in a moment, but of course, Wright scoring that, and then he sets up Eccles. Eccles sets Thomas up. So he scored and set one up. Keith, well, that's not a finish we probably thought we'd see from Josh Eccles. I mean, he ran through calmly and stuck it away. I mean, I got to admit, I bet there was a lot of fans who thought this is going to go in row Z, but then you should remember the penalty he took at Wembley. I mean, he actually was quite controlled, wasn't it? It was a great finish.
It did seem very composed the way he ran through. And, when he hit it, I thought, the keeper's going to hit this or whatever. But he took it really well. He curled it around the keeper. And, brilliant finish. Fantastic finish.
Yeah, I'll bring Ken in. Is it safe? Oh, it's gone quiet.
Go on.
They've not locked up, have they, and left you behind?
If the lights go out, I get worried.
Banged up in, where are you? Banged up in Beirut or something?
I'll get worried if the lights go out, then I will get worried. And we've lost all power. But at the moment, it's nice and quiet, so go on, yeah.
So the Josh Eccles finish, that must have surprised you. I didn't see that coming at all.
No, I didn't. To be honest, he played well. He had a great game, didn't he? And it's so cool. I thought, what a fantastic finish. That's the striker's finish, really, isn't it? And then Bizet had a chance, didn't he, when he came on? He should have scored really as well, to be honest. So, but Eccles, brilliant finish.
It's interesting.
Look at it. We had a few chances.
Sorry, it's interesting, but Eccles' finish, where he was so calm, you kind of thought that's the finish Bissett should have had, being a striker. Yeah, but he tried to go through him, didn't he? He tried to get it underneath the keeper. I mean, it'd been great if he'd got the 4th goal.
It would have been brilliant. Yeah, he could have done with a goal as well, couldn't he? But can't moan too much. 3-0 away from home.
We've got some more. On the good win, refs, a Cov fan. Hi, Ken. Hi, Canada and Keith.
Hi.
Wayne says we need proof that Ken is not on the bog. Rather suspicious.
Well, I can stand up, but I'm not on the bag.
Oh no! Blimey, that was. I didn't want to. GLB boxing, buy your combat Ken figures for Xmas. Oh dear. This is Craig Robinson. Can Ken put his hands by his shoulders and looks like a what? No, a what? No, what's that?
Put my hands up anyway. Look.
Yeah. Haji's big toe. Haji looked different animal since returning from his last international break with Poch. Yeah, that's interesting. He reckons he had a word with him. It's a bit frustrating though if he's been with us for 18 months and he spent 2 weeks with Pochettino and he's come back a different player. What's going on there? Tony SD, Haji is quick enough. He doesn't need to be offside. Robert McDougall can see Wednesday being a great game. Sakamoto looked electric when he came on, but would keep him as super sub. Saturday made up for all those away days of disappointment me and my boys have had. Well, that's right, because I mean, Jack, you've seen most of the away games since last Easter. That's the first one you've seen us win, hasn't it? It's been, apart from the Bristol City League Cup match.
Yeah, I wasn't there for that one either.
Oh, I was. Hey!
Yeah, it was the cup games, But, I mean, Huddersfield away being the last win, it seems an age ago. But ironically, our coach for Huddersfield, we were about an hour and a half delayed. The coach didn't get to us. And yesterday, the coach was delayed 40 minutes. So maybe we ought to call up Catteralls and ask them to delay our coach every week if we get a win.
Yeah. This is Dave Saunders. Ayling was the one complaining, trying to get them sent off. That's right. He was having the. He still thought it was at Leeds, didn't he? That's Mad Frankie. Please don't go any lower, Ken. Ian Harris. Ken, you in LA dodging those shots being fired? Yes, love it. Haji's big toe. Boro should have been down to 9 with the elbow on Bassett near the end. That was definitely. Oh, Ken wants to say something. Hold on, Ken.
That was a naughty one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That's a red card all day long.
Did you see that? Did you see it where you were?
What was that one? Sorry.
The red card incident where the elbow into Bassett.
Oh, Jesus, yeah. Why was that not a red card? That was awful. The bloke sort of, he didn't sort of hold him off. He was stood like this and then went. It's just a blatant red card.
It's the sort of thing Keith sees in ice hockey most weeks, isn't it, Keith? It was definitely a red, wasn't it? I think, anyway.
It was definitely a red. I don't watch ice hockey because I consider it as thuggery. It's not sport. I don't know if you noticed there a few moments ago. I mean, you have your lucky cat, Claudio. I've got my lucky dog. He's curled up next to me.
Oh, wow. Yes, you can't. Yes, I've got my cats. They're. We brought a brand new cat tree today. Well, yesterday actually. It's ridiculous. They got more toys than I have, and more beds as well.
Yes.
This is comical boxer Ken. I agree. It was the players. Still think the ref had a reasonable game. Where's your bog roll? Love this channel. Not trying to fuck you. You can't make this up, can you? Really?
I don't.
Haji's big toe, yes, he came on, didn't he? EMC looked quicker, fitter and up for it, playing on the correct side for him. Unlucky with the shot into the side netting. Not sure about the disallowed goal when Bassett was punished for soft foul. Yes, forgot about that as well. And Finn, we beat Bristol with 10 men, 3-2. And yes, this is the commentary. Neil Jake says, considering we were playing Middlesbrough, Brighton and Birmingham, thought we played well. This was Oggy. For about minutes, kept saying Birmingham had taken control. Then it was Brighton. Absolutely weird. Now, I'm going to show something. We'll have a bit of something different here. And this is from way back. I'll put this on Facebook, but I was gobsmacked when this came up. My brother-in-law sent me this, and I'll make sure it's the right one. You won't be able to see what it says because it's too small. But I've got it on the big screen here. Now, this is in the newspaper in 1965, December the 6th, And incredibly, it's all to do about the Sky Blue Special, which was the train they used to lay on. And on the trains, they used to have a disco and bingo and all sorts of shenanigans going on this train. And this train was going to Middlesbrough. And the journey on the way back took 6 hours, apparently. And it got a licensed bar on the train as well. So this is Jimmy Hill's creation. But you can't see it there, but there's a Keane supporter. And I couldn't believe this. And it's the Keane supporter was interviewed and he quoted, "Teenagers and older fans joined in the jiving and came back again when the group had caught their second breath for another half session as the train rolled through Yorkshire." Antonio Cardellino, which is my dad, from Whitnash Leamington, who used to be a professional footballer in Italy, has, as you see, it never sort of, it stayed with him. Antonio Cardellino from Whitnash Leamington, who used to be a professional footballer in Italy, had been a keen City supporter since he arrived in this country 10 years ago. Immigrants, eh? Anyway, was one of the audience who applauded the group. "I often write home about the progressive ideas of Coventry City," he said. "I will certainly tell them all about this." Now, and it says there was an interruption to watch the football match in Middlesbrough, and then the train was on its way back again with a record sessions, bingo, dancing, catering, and licensed bar. I want to go to an away match on that train. What do you reckon, Jack?
To be fair, we get a licensed bar on our bus by the sound of it sometimes. The amount of beer we take with us as well. But, that would be fun. It would be fun.
I just couldn't believe it. I just could not believe it. My brother-in-law found that. And I know my dad used to tell me stories about, the old days and what used to happen in the Sky Blue era with Jimmy Hill. And you kind of just think it's all, I'm not sort of made up, but just slightly exaggerated. But there it is in a newspaper article, which is, I just found it fascinating. I'll just unmute Ken.
Yes.
Do you remember going on the Sky Blue Special?
No, mate, it's before my time, I'm afraid. I heard all about it though. It was supposed to be fun. Yeah, I mean, I heard all about it, but I've never actually been on it now. It's before my time, but yeah, mate. I mean, there used to be British Rail, as it used to be British Rail, used to put special trains on for away fans. I remember going to West Ham in the semi-final in the League Cup. You probably went to that game as well, the second leg.
Yeah.
There's a special train on for that for Cov fans from Cov Station. It was like just all football fans, and they did put special trains on now and again for various games back then. I mean, then obviously they stopped doing it now. So, but yeah, it's nice to have a special train. It'd be nice, wouldn't it?
And then he found a couple of letters I wrote to the Telegraph, and it is quite funny. And I'm having a real good moan on this one here. It's basically our main approach to goal appears to be for the wide midfield player to receive the ball in deep position, play an early ball into the penalty area in the hope that forwards will do something. It sounds like now, doesn't it? All the forwards can do with this sort of service is take unfair criticism for not scoring enough goals. And then I moan about the fact that we're taking too long at the back because we always seem to do is pass it along the back four. Oh dear.
So the Cov fan just goes in circles, basically.
I think it does.
I think the fourth division, we go up to the top division, and we just moan the whole way round.
I think, yeah. And there's another one here. It says, since the age of 5, when my father bought me a season ticket, I've been following the Sky Blues a quarter of a century. So I was 30 when I wrote this then. And I'm moaning about, well, basically, Richardson, the chairman, saying that you can't believe those empty seats against Wimbledon. And we were playing Wimbledon. They weren't the most attractive team. And I just pointed out, saying maybe we should have lowered the prices. And the headline in the Telegraph was, cut prices to get fans back in the ground. So there you are. So me moaning, it's been going on for years.
But yeah, it's a fair comment, though. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
the price is so high. I mean, regardless of who we support. I mean, you've only got like some of the airlines selling tickets for £1 a time, sort of thing. Bums on seats. That plane's going anyway. Same as the football match is going on anyway. Like, have some cut price tickets to fill the ground. Why not?
Well, I mean, they don't have to now, really, do they? That's the issue.
Yeah.
I mean, Derby are bringing 3,000 on Wednesday. I'd imagine it's going to be close to 28,000 on Wednesday. Now we've had a couple of decent results. I know it's a night game. I mean, I'll just read this comment out here.
Oh, Ken wants to say something.
Oh, Ken wants to say something. I didn't see.
The EFL they've got a campaign going on for 30 quid to cap on championship prices next year.
Yeah.
To bring it in line with the Premier League. That should come into force next year.
I think that's fair enough.
It's not
So
past
you pay no more than 30 quid, which is right. That's what it should be.
That's not passed yet, but I read about that yesterday and they're looking to get it through. So that'll be good. I mean, I know Leeds didn't charge 47 quid this year like they did last year, but at least it's peace of mind. You know what you're paying for an away day.
So there's a comment here from Jagatia. Scoreline was very flattering. I think we let Boro into the game too much at times, especially with the Joel loose passing. My blood pressure was through the roof until number 2 went in. Right, yes. What would you guys be happy with from the next 2 games? I think we can get points. Have a feeling a draw against Derby, beat Sunderland. Okay, so we have got Derby and we have got Sunderland, of course. So what do you think? Firstly, we'll just cover man of the match. If you had to pick somebody from yesterday, from where you were watching, what do you reckon?
It's hard because I'd say it's easier to pick a worse player out of that 11 than it is to pick a best, and that's credit to the team. The fact that they've all stepped up. We haven't got 1 or 2 people being brilliant for us. We've got most of the team being really well, and a couple of us that maybe just need to improve. I thought Eccles with his assist and his goal is a big shout for man of the match. I'll go Eccles.
Okay, Keith, who do you reckon?
It's hard not to vote against Eccles. Eccles or Sheaf, I would say. You know, like Sheaf seems to command some confidence in the middle there, which is what the guys need. But I'd agree with Jack. Just by a slight nod.
Ken?
Eccles for me, yeah, without a doubt. I thought that's one of his best games this season so far. I'm
going to go for Bobby Thomas. Basically, I thought it was strong at the back. It was strong when needed, and I mean defensively, we did really well. We came under fire that second half, and there was some loose balls around the box, and they dealt with it. But I thought Bobby Thomas with the goal as well. He looked like the player I thought we signed when he first joined. And that's what we need. And we do need those 3 at the back now. They have to stay, I think. And that's what we can talk about now, actually. So looking ahead, we've got the game on Wednesday. Who comes in? Who goes out? Do we stay the same? Ken?
Same team for me.
That started.
Yeah, definitely. I thought they all did well and they all deserve another chance. So if Sims is fit, then he's got to start on the bench, unfortunately. But you know, you can bring him on if things are not going to plan. But yeah, for me, definitely the same team against Derby, because I think they all deserve another chance after that performance.
So what about you, Keith? What do you think? Starting lineup?
I totally agree. Keep the same starting lineup. And I'd have the same substitutes. I mean, for me, the substitutes were great. And the starting lineup speaks for itself. I'd agree with Ken. I'm sorry, I would leave Sims on the bench if necessary. I mean, he's ultimately a replacement for Haji Wright if things aren't going good for him. But, he's firing on all guns at the moment. I love Sakamoto's crossing. Rodoni, I love him on the pitch. Torp as well. Yeah, let's keep the same 11, please.
What do you think, Jack? I think he will, though, because of what's happened in the past.
I think he will make some changes. Have a long trip up on a bus to the northeast, followed by a home game midweek, followed by a long trip up on a bus to the northeast, is going to take a toll on players. So he's come under the cosh for keeping the same team this season twice now, on games where we've had midweek and weekend or weekend midweek. So something's got to change. I agree. Ideally, on paper, it would be the starting 11. Maybe Sims comes in if he's fit, but I think with the 3 games, the 2 long distance travel and a game in midweek in 7 days, 8 days, there needs to be some rotation. I'm not sure what that would be, but I think something needs to happen just to keep everyone a bit fresher.
Yeah, it's difficult, isn't it? Because you look at it and you're thinking, what can I do? Do you put Kitchen in the middle of the 3 and you put Binks out wide, rest Rodoni? It seems pointless because he took him off yesterday, didn't he? So, and Torp came off as well. So it's not like they've played the whole game. I can't think who else came off. Anybody? I'm trying to think.
Saturday and Haji both came off as well. So
I can't. I think he'll start with the same lot, personally. And let's get the job done. Get the game won if they can, and then you can make your changes, can't you? I'll look at who we got up front. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if Bissett started instead of Sante, but then, why should he? Because Asante did plenty. I thought he worked really hard, and sometimes his first touch can be better. It sort of bounces off him a lot, and there are times when I think he's got control of the ball, and then he hasn't. He's fallen over, which is a bit frustrating. But his work rate was excellent, and if we need to press teams, we need players like him on the pitch as well. But yeah, I'd like to see the same starting 11. So, I mean, I don't know. For then the Saturday, then what do you do? Because I mean, you can't. I mean, Sunderland out of the 2 games is going to be the hardest match, isn't it? Surely, with where they're playing. So, what do you think his approach will be, Ken, with Sunderland in mind, though?
I think, well, obviously, you have to get this game out of the way on Wednesday, and then we might pick up injuries. You don't know, do you? Or even suspensions. But hopefully, we won't. But again, if we do get a positive result against Derby, if we win, I'll be looking to keep the same team again. You've got to keep momentum, I think. He may tweak, but knowing Robins the way he is, he may tweak it here and there, like make a couple of changes. But it's certainly not wholesale changes. We won't see many. Maybe 1, maybe 2, but maximum. I don't think it'll be many, if that. But personally, if it was me, I would keep the same team because I like keeping a winning team. Why change it? If you're winning, you've got the shirt. It's up to the other players to take that shirt back off you. And prove you're wrong. So if you're performing week in, week out, and you've got that shirt, then you keep it. You deserve to keep it.
It's amazing how a couple of wins and all of a sudden everybody wants to play, don't they? They don't feel the tweaks.
Confidence. It's a massive confidence, like we said before. Confidence is massive, isn't it, in football? And, if you're on a winning streak, everybody wants to play, don't they?
Storm Cook, Bissett had the same chance at the end as Eccles did, but basically gave to the keeper. He needs to work on his finishing. I think a massive potential, but showed he was nowhere near the finished article yet. He should have just took the chances like he did in that under 23s match. He was banging him in from everywhere. So, yes. This is from Mad Frankie. He gets a lot of stick, does Eccles, for some reason. Never understood it. This is Andrew, and I'm getting very worried about Ken's safety now. Can we organise an escape committee from that toilet? Finn wants to know what's going on with Sims. Now, this is interesting because all of us thought he'd got like a stomach upset or something. And then obviously data protection doesn't include Ellis Sims. And Mark Robins said it was something to do with his foot. Now, Jack, didn't he have a foot injury before? Was that last season with a toe injury or something?
I don't think so, from memory. I don't remember. But I'd read just before kickoff, actually, somewhere that, or I think just on the forum somewhere, he's got a foot injury last minute. I don't really know what happened. Well, no one still does. I think Robins was very didn't really want to give a lot away, did he?
No, but I thought he sounded disappointed though, as if to say, "Oh, it's a foot injury, like it's like a ridiculous thing."
I think Sims had declared himself unfit for the game
Yeah.
last year. I think that's what it was. So Robins was a bit annoyed he had to change the tactics, change the striker last minute.
Yeah, probably just clipping his toenails, and he went a bit too far. What did you do?
Hey, you just gave me the keys.
Something's happening back there. It's someone's talking. Keith, what do you think then? Did you think he sounded a bit disgruntled when he had to say he was unfit? It was a bit weird, wasn't it, the interview?
Yeah, he did sound a bit upset, fed up with what has gone on. It was almost like with all due respect, a millennial thing, sort of like, I don't fancy playing today, sort of thing. So he's had to give him a miss. But, did he genuinely have a foot injury? I don't know. And you think back to then Dave Bamber back in the day when he got some sort of blood infection, didn't he, when he had a foot injury?
Yeah.
But you know what? He's missed out on an opportunity. We played well without him. Now he's got to fight to get back in. Let's keep the same guys.
Okay. What do you think about this Sim situation? It seemed a bit weird, didn't it?
It was a bit weird, really, to be honest. I think what Robin said, he said he woke up and he's had a foot injury, or whether he's, it's it when he, I don't know, in bed or whatever, I don't know what happened, but it was all overnight, weren't it? All happened so quick, and obviously if he's got a bad foot, he knows he couldn't play, so he's being honest and say, look, he couldn't play. So obviously, you have to change it, but it's just one of them late. That's why we had both goalkeepers on the bench, weren't it? Because it was too late to, call.
Yeah. So I always think it's weird that we always have two spare keepers, don't we? Weird.
Well, I don't know why. Yeah, it's strange, isn't it?
Should have put one on.
Yeah, it must be the next to keeper travels all the time. So.
It's all going on there. It's Mick Davenport says, "Kenya blocking the fire door." He probably is actually. Wayne Litwood, as Ken's now in prison, can we expect him every week in this echo chamber presenting? Yeah, Ken's the daddy now. This is from David Jackson. Eccles for me is getting better and better watching him this season. I see real progress. Breaks up play with elasticity. His passing is class, and he's now starting to be an attacking threat. And Joyner says, my dad used to talk about going to matches on the Sky Blue Express. According to Jim Brown, that was the second trip. The first one was up to Preston. It's incredible. I think, fantastic. Comical Boxer, regarding the newspaper article, amazing bit of historical memorabilia, no doubt, made even more so by the personal connection to yourself. It's really weird when you see stuff like that, and it's like surreal, because I don't even think the old man actually knew that existed, that article, or whether or not he'd ever seen it. David Jackson, he's one of our own. Don't get why fans online slate him. I think the trouble is it's an easy target. I think a lot of the time with homegrown players, either fans really love them or they just don't like them. It's weird. He's one of those players that, Mark Robins keeps picking him, and he must do stuff that he's happy with, and that's all that matters, really. Mick Davenport, I remember queuing up for the pink, waiting for the delivery van in those days. Day Sports Photos, he says, West Ham away leg of the semi was the most toxic atmosphere I've ever experienced. The chicken run, I think it was called, almost reduced Danny Thomas to tears with their racist chants. It was the bus in front of us got absolutely bricked. I got thrown off a brick wall by some West Ham fans, which I thought were Cov fans. And so it was a bit of a nightmare. Even I was only 15 as well, so it was a bit horrendous. Matt B, has anyone noticed that Middlesbrough away shirt looks very much like our home shirt from last season? Yes. I think some of their fans made a comment about that saying, "Why, if we're playing in sky blue, why can't we play like Coventry?"
Yep.
They wouldn't have said that if they'd seen us at Stoke. Mick Davenport, yeah, disgusting, Dave. I heard all the racism. Yes, it was a very, very poor evening that was, and of course we lost. Ian Small, hi all. Tats made a huge difference. The back five now looks stable. Midfield picks itself. Tats and Torp rotate in the 10. Just need our front two to settle. Right +1. And Mick Davenport says, don't change a winning team, which I think is right. So, any news on Sims? Well, there's not. It seems strange interview with Robins post-match saying that he had declared himself unfit due to foot injury. That's what we were saying. Haji's big toe. It was obviously Wright's big toe, possibly. I don't know. I just think, it's just. I mean, it's a strange one. John Forsyth, I think we're already the better team and on top before the sending off. 3 times the ball was in the net, but disallowed. 2 of those was before the sending off. Finn, Ken's got a visitor or parole hearing. Yeah, he's gone off. And is Ken in Little Park Street sales?
Ciao. Bring me a Guinness as well.
It's at he's at a bonfire night. He's gone to set up the DJ equipment basically, and he was due to come back, and he's ended up getting stuck there, and he couldn't get out of the car park. So yeah, I'll put you back in there. Of course, James Hollyoak reckons that I heard Ellis stubbed his toe running away from Vicky. Chris Baker, weird one with Sims. Hope it's just a minor issue and he's back soon. Visiting time's over for Ken, according to Doug Bolam. He's had to go back to his cell. Yeah, well, this is the thing I was saying. Eccles' his corners are. Yeah, this is why I was having a grumble at some of his passing, and then he sticks that crossing for the goal, which is like, which is what you want, isn't it? Really? Yeah.
But again, you hear people like De Bruyne talk. I know Eccles is no De Bruyne, but De Bruyne is quoted to have said recently his passing accuracy could be 96, 97%, a bit like Tony Cruz, but he'd rather try inventive balls, through the back line than just pass it sideways and backwards. Eccles' passing accuracy wasn't great yesterday, but that's because he was trying these through balls through to the strikers and they were getting cut off. It wasn't like he was making dodgy back passes.
Yeah, Sean Stan Hardy says Millwall look a very organised outfit. I won't be surprised if they aren't in around the playoffs this season. Decent side under Neil Harris. I like Neil Harris, good manager. Mick Davenport, Sims stubbed his toe playing sock football, trying to sharpen up his shooting. Honestly, Dave Jackson, we need to beat Derby at home. That'll be 10 points out of 12 in the last 4 games. Then aim for a draw against Sunderland away.
Talking about sock football, guys. I play sock football with my hutch here with a tennis ball. I haven't got an injury yet.
You can play up front then on Wednesday.
Me or hutch?
Both of you.
Dave photos. The Sims foot injury might have happened a couple of days before the match. For all we know, Robins didn't want Boro to know about it. It may not even be a foot injury. I mean, you know what they're like. Or the cloak and dagger stuff. Yes, I saw this today. And good to see Madison score, stunning free kick today to sink the Villa. Yes. As soon as he scored it, I just went, Cov, lad. That's what my wife said, what are you on about? I says, Madison's just put one past the Villa. Yes. Jordan Williams says, something without Bellingham when we play them, he's suspended because he got sent off, didn't he? So I was going to ask, is it a 3-match ban? I think it is, actually.
I don't know if it's 2. It's a straight red, so it's at least 2, but it was a leg breaker. It was a bad one.
Yeah, so I actually feel like, although Sunderland have started well, they're having a strange bit of form now. And I would have fancied them to go to QPR and win. Of course, QPR can't win at home at the minute. So that would have been a perfect place to get a result for them. But of course, Burnley losing. And some strange results up there, isn't there? So it's such a tight league. Absolutely is such a tight league. Well, we haven't
On a
got.
positive note, guys, we're only 6 points off the playoffs. Just saying.
Well, exactly that. Also, Keith, you're coming over, aren't you? I believe.
Yes, indeed.
Keith is actually a season ticket holder. Him and his son. This is a yes, and you're coming to a game, aren't you, on the 30th of November?
Yeah, but, for everyone's benefit, it'll be my birthday at the Cardiff game.
Right. Well, I'll make sure I don't bump into you then. Yeah. Well, you need to because I've got your season tickets.
Yes, that's right.
So how long are you staying for when you come over?
Just been one of my typical long weekends. A lot of people can't handle it, but I leave Thursday afternoon my time, get into the UK midday Friday, and then I'll fly out 6 o'clock Tuesday morning, back at work on Wednesday.
We'll have to, obviously, we're going to meet up and that. That's some dedication, that is, to be honest. I mean, your son came over, didn't he? He was here for a week because I went down to Bristol. Well, I went to the Bristol League Cup match with him. Yeah, met him down there. And then he went to I think he saw the Oxford game, didn't he?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, so he had two great games, 2 wins in a week. Yeah. Fantastic. So he's a bit like us now, winning all these games. Chris Baker says, you'll have to give the box a miss on the 30th, Claudio. Well, yeah, I might have to.
I'm taking the place. I'm in.
Oh yeah, I'm
in one of the lounges that game actually.
So it's your birthday, is it? It's your birthday, is it then?
My birthday's the 8th of December, but obviously we're away to Millwall. So me and my dad were saying what would be better the week before or the week after, and the whole game's a lunchtime kickoff. So we went for the Cardiff game being a standard 3 o'clock, unless they move it between now and then, they might.
So looking ahead, then we've had our 2 wins. Are we looking at a more comfortable season now? Do you think? Do you think this never-ending corners? Is this the launch pad now? Surely we can pick up from this and keep going. What do you think, Jack?
The last few years, we seem to have done that, don't we? For whatever reason, we've started badly and come through at the end. I mean, wouldn't it be great if we can make the playoffs? I mean, I remember the sort of bad old days when we started really well, and the quote was we'd come down with the Christmas decorations. But it's nice the fact that we've turned it around a little bit. Yeah, there's no reason why we can't make the playoffs again. Let's go for it.
Can I just say, Keith, can you pass on your internet details to Miles and Ken? Because you're in Canada and you've not dropped out once. It's ridiculous, isn't it? That somebody's down the road. It's shocking, isn't it?
And do you know what? I complain about my internet because I mean, yeah, on the QT here, I've got a Fire Stick, so I've got all the English channels, and that's all I ever watch. But sometimes it freezes on me, and it's so annoying. But I don't have half the problems that Miles does. It's out to lunch. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. And what's the temperature there at the minute?
About -2. We actually had a hint of snow yesterday morning, sort of snow stroke freezing rain. I'm hoping the weekend I'm in the UK, we always have a weekend or week where the temperature drops in the tank. And when I say in the tank, I'm talking like -20. And that's centigrade. And then it bounces back and to sort of just under 0 like we are at the moment. And then come January, February time, well, this year just gone, we had a -45 for 3 or 4 days. Factor in the wind chill factor, and where I work at the airport, it's shut down. Unbelievable.
-45. Okay, well, I know you message me. You go, it's -40. I'm going, it's +10 here.
That's right.
And then you'll say it's -20. We're having a heat wave.
That's right. Yeah, pretty much.
I just couldn't live in those conditions. I would never leave the house. I just couldn't do it. I just could not do it.
The funny thing is, it's a dry environment compared to the damp sort of environment in England. So when it's like -2 in England, yes, you feel cold. Here, it can be -10, -20. It's dry. The sun's out. You bundle up and you don't feel a damn thing. But yeah, when it gets to -45, yeah, can't cover up enough.
We've got a couple of comments here from, that's Mick saying cucumber sandwiches and champers for Keith then. So Stan Hardy says, it'll be handy if we need a win on the final game of the season to guarantee playoff spot as we play Middlesbrough. Record against the Stars. They've already said that, saying it's great, and it whenever they need something, they come to us and get it. I find it astonishing because as a kid, I don't remember having much luck going away to Middlesbrough. It was always at home we did well. The last few years have been weird. Stan Hardy says, me and Keith from Alberta, Canada, are in the USA supporters WhatsApp group. I talk to him often.
That's right. And I actually arranged for, I think it was Stan, and there's a lad called Ryan. We've actually got some USA supporters group flags. So it's like the Coventry flag with sort of American style with a bald eagle on one side and a Captain America thing in the middle. So it's pretty neat flag.
Dawn Cook says, my sister lives in Alberta, Canada too, in Okotoks.
Okotoks. It's 2-3 hours drive south of here.
Yeah, that's down the road, isn't it? That's down the road to you, though. It's 2 or 3 hours.
Oh yeah.
Craig Rum says, will Keith be visiting Ken in the Nick when he flies over from the UK? Hey up. He's awake. It's Miles. Hi all from sunny Jamaica. Great win. Need to win Tuesday now. You know,
Tuesday.
Yeah, it's a Wednesday. I know. Yeah. See, he's on the whatever, the Tequila Sunrises or something. But Finn says, Claudia, now you mix with the corporate prawn sandwich lot. Ask them to give the CBS a lick of paint. Can I just say, we don't have prawn sandwiches. We have much better stuff than prawn sandwiches.
Oh, it's we, is it now, Claudio?
The royal we. And this is from Stan Hardy. Yeah, I took mine to Huddersfield away last season. Our last away win until yesterday. Also, it took it to the first 3 games last season. 1 loss, 2 wins, 1 in the cup. I think fair play to all you guys and girls who do this travelling. I mean, Ian, who travels from France, I'll tell you what, he comes to virtually all the games now. That's what it feels like. He's always, coming to the match.
A guy travels from the Isle of Man on a regular basis as well, isn't there?
Yeah, he sits near me at home, actually.
Yeah, it's incredible. You got some people can't be bothered to go a couple of miles. GLB Miles is on the Bob Marley smokes and getting days mixed up. I was hoping he might come on, actually, but he says, no, I'm not going to do that. Well, I think we've about covered it all tonight. I think we've had a fantastic win, an away day, a happy away day, especially you, Jack. He's been doing so many of these away matches. Leamington Warwick Supporters Club, we have an event. They have an event soon, which is on what date?
Tuesday the 19th of November. It's an evening with the players. We've got 2 players come in. We don't know which ones yet, so we'll let you guys know when we do. Racing Club Warwick being hosted by Rob Gurney, so it should be a fun night for all. £10 to come along and get involved. If you want to pay in advance, you're welcome to. Drop me a message. We've got Facebook, we've got Twitter, we've got Instagram as well. Otherwise, you can turn up and pay on the night. £10 for anyone that's a non-member, and members are free.
Yeah, I mean, also the other supporters clubs are running their events as well, so it's everyone's involved that night. It'd be interesting. It's an international break, so you can always guess which ones won't be doing it because they'll be away. And fortunately for Miles, he'll be back as we discussed, and Jamaica playing USA, so he could have seen Lati Badier and Haji Wright play. That'd been fantastic, wouldn't it? I'd love to have done that. He should have timed it better, shouldn't he? Someone's put Miles don't like cricket and he's replied, I love it. Stan Hardy, when I find decent flights from Philadelphia and can swing a few days off, I'll fly over. I'll be over for Christmas next for a week. Pompey away, Plymouth at home. Hope to see you there, Keith. Oh, fantastic.
That'll be good.
Yes.
Right.
Well, thanks to everybody who's tuned in tonight. And like I says, we're all happy now. All chip. It's fantastic. My Saturday, yet again, we went supermarket shopping after the match, after a win. Anything you want can go in the trolley. That's the way it is.
Love it.
Yeah, we actually bought some Christmas peanuts and we ate them last night instead of waiting until Christmas. That's how happy I was.
You got too excited, did you?
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, thanks for everybody listening in. Thank you, Jack. Thank you, Keith, all the way from Canada. You got the rest of the day, haven't you? Of course. Ken, yes. I might get to hear from him. Who knows? He should be here on this Thursday. And of course, thank you to Peyton who came on from Derby. And we'll be back on Thursday. Hopefully, we'll be talking about another win, 3 in a row. Fantastic, isn't it? And that's what we want, and hopefully it will happen. So, good night all, and play up Sky Blues.
Play up Sky Blues.
Play up Sky Blues.
Sky Blue Fans TV, for the fans, by the fans.